Guys, so in the previous video we have discussed that how the whole architecture design, right, that how these three classes is linked with the hierarchy of is a relationship, and this is what we called is a relationship. That lion is an animal, dog is a animal. Okay, so whenever we are calling is a relationship, it means that one class derived from another one. Now in this video, we will be going to discuss about that error and the solution of that error, of course. But for the new audience, those who have joined from this video onwards, I recommend to those that please go through the previous videos as well, because otherwise you cannot understand the objective and whole application logic, whole the problem statement that what we are looking for. So I request you, if you are new to this video, that please go through with the previous videos also. Now what we have discussed in the previous video, that this section, this red color section which I have pointed, I am talking about this area where, so this section actually giving us the problem. I also mentioned this as a comment that we cannot execute the subclass child class operations, right? This was going giving us the problem, and I also discussed the the reason why that problem is going to be occurred. That is why, because we are trying to access it through animal object. However, inside the animal object, it is the line object which is built, right? So it is something like as that during the runtime. So just a second, let me redraft this entire operation again. So basically what happened, that during runtime, let me draft this part. You can observe this, this box. Okay, so I'm talking about this box. So what happened exactly, that whenever the user, let's say this is our user, this is a 3 years old kid, and this user basically through the mobile app or the video game or XYZ source, this user basically selects the animal type, which is, let's say, lion at this moment of time. So when this user is going to select the lion, what happened actually in the memory, the lion object has been created. Okay, so assumed how the thing has been going on, that request is going to the server, and inside the server what happened, there is the memory area, correct? There must be the memory area inside that server. So inside that memory area, one object of lion is going to be created. Okay, that is basically the lion object of user, let's say user A. Okay, so user A lion object is created at this moment of time. Now what happened, this user A line object now we passes to this reference A. So it means right now we are calling it as a line. Okay, right now its name is line. Okay, so this line is basically pointing towards this particular object which has some values inside it. This line I'm talking about, but this line object we now transfer to this reference A. Okay, the problem right here is that this reference A don't know the other methods, other specific method to loin, right? Because it belongs to animal, not to loin. So at this moment of time we have to cast it. This method cannot be executed. So through A object I can call all the objects, all the methods belongs to A, but I cannot call the child class object because these methods are not here, right? Okay, so I have to cast it, but wait a second, right? Wait a second, I want to give you the one more solution, because usually I ask this type of questions during the interviews, and most of the time I'm getting the wrong answer. Most of the time, I'm not saying that every time, but most of the time I'm getting the wrong answers. So let's discuss that how I can mold that whole situation. Okay, so let's say, suppose, what is the code, let me write that code again. So So this is the another copy of that code which I have just copy and pasted from there. So first of all, this is my main method, and in the main method I'm trying to call, I'm trying to call these two methods which actually gives me the error. These two methods actually give me the error, right? So instead of this method, why don't I create dog object again? Okay, and exactly the same dog object or lion object, whatever the animal we pass. Okay, so let's say suppose if I'm passing lion, so lion object again, and whole values I'm passing it again. Okay, something like as 12, and then yellow, and then 80 and 60, and then I'm done. After I'll call loin dot do hunt. So now this operation can invoke this call. This is absolutely correct. There is no problem. So why to call this method, right? And in case of calling dog object, let's create the dog object. Okay, dog d equals to new dog, and some values inside it, whatever the values we need, and d dot do play games. So if we have such kind of operation possible, then why we are emphasizing on writing this code? Take a pause and reply me your answers. I just want to know that what you're thinking in this perspective. If you're not understanding the question, let me repeat the question once again. I hope that you are not the new audience, you follow the whole videos. So what was my objective is that instead of calling the specific methods through the animal object, why can't I create the subclass object again and invoke the any specific method, whatever business wanted to execute at that moment of time? Similarly, like how I have called lion.doHunt and d.do play games. Okay, optionally always, although. Why can't creating the new object is not the good solution right there? So actually, this is the hint which I'm giving you, that lion equals to new lion. This section of code which I'm pointing towards in the blue color as of now, this code. Why this code is the wrong answer or the wrong code at this moment of time? The reason is because this is one object, right? You can observe right here, because things are not always that simple. This line object is just created right here, but it might be possible that this line object we are getting from some another source, and this line object has its own state. This line object, before calling it, this line object, wait, let's say suppose I already executed loin.eat method. Okay, and where I was eating 150 kg of meat to lion. Okay, so at that moment of time, after eating 150 kg of meat, the status of 80 and 60 would be changed. As per our logic, it must be changed to some another values, might be 100 or might be 120. So I should carry forward the hunting process from 150 or 180 kg of weight, right? Not with the previous 80 or 60 values. It means what? That we have to manage the state. But by making the new object right here, we lose a whole lot of these things. Whatever we have achieved so far, we are not relying on it, and we are creating the brand new lion. That is absolutely the different line. This is not the same line what we were talking right there in the main method. Whatever child has chosen already. This line and this line is not saved. Look at there. New keyword again. New means create new object. It's a new object. It was not the old object. So such kind of things you should always look into whenever you are coding it. Whenever you are writing code, you should be very much concerned related to such minute things. So this solution is not good. We have discussed this part that this solution will not work, because in this solution we are not carry forwarding the new operations or the new values, or better to call it, we are not carry forwarding the previous state of the object. Instead of that, we are creating our new brand new object, right? And we don't need it. So in such a situation, we have to create the object. Okay, we have to we have to typecast the object. Okay, so in order to achieve this objective, we should do the typecasting. We have already discussed. Now how we can do typecasting? So I have already mentioned here the very important concept that we can execute superclass operations here, and we cannot execute the subclass operations. So there's a one rule in Java. Okay, what is that rule in Java? Basically, the rule says, what is that rule? The rule says that superclass reference can have subclass object. Means animal A can have new dog. Okay, employee can have new accountant. Okay, list of XYZ object can have new array list. Okay, this is what the rule is. Okay, or component C can have new REST controller. Just for your example, although this one is not correct properly, so because it is not correct fully, let me change the color. Okay, just for your example purpose. Okay, so what the rule says, that superclass reference can have a subclass object. It means that I am talking about an animal which is basically the dog. I am talking about an animal which is basically the lion, which is basically the horse. Okay, if I am saying dog D, it is wrong. If I am saying dog D equals to new animal, it means all animals. It means what? It means all animals has the features of dog, which is wrong. But it means that all dogs having the features of animal, which is correct. But right here I am saying that all the animals has a features of dog. This is absolutely wrong. This is not applicable. So that's why this is wrong, and that's why the line object I can pass to animal reference. This is valid. Okay, I hope that things are clear to everybody. If you still have a problem, if you still not able to understand the things, you can inform me or discuss your doubt in the comments. I would like to answer your queries. So I hope that these things are clear, that this, as per this rule, because animal A equals to new dog is valid, the line object or the dog object, this D is a dog object, this dog object you can pass to the animal object right there. So it can be either a dog or can be either a lion or can be a horse in the next demo. Okay. But as we have already aware about, and okay, and this casting is called as upcasting. What we called this one? We called this thing as upcasting. Okay. Whereas now in order to maintain the state, the actual code should be, I should not write this code. Instead of that, the ideal code should be what? I should write what? We have A up there. So this A, I should create what? Line. Let's say temporary line code object, or let's call it as line equals to line and A. This is called downcasting. Okay, this one is downcasting. So what happened? Look at here again. That this time what happened, that this A object we are passing to this. Okay, and this object we typecast to the line type, and now I can call all the line specific behaviors. Line dot do hunt, line dot do sleep, okay, line dot roar, or whatever you want, you can call the line specific behavior now onwards. So this is my code. So now as you can observe that this code, because giving us a problem, so now instead of this, what I'm doing, I'm creating line equals to this line typecast and A. Okay, and this is how we used to do typecast. So let's say suppose if we have if we have byte b equals to 90, right, or let's call it as a int I, and this I want to make it as a byte. So this is giving me an error, so this I can resolve it by forcefully making it byte. Okay, so now this becomes what? Line. So this is what we called as downcasting. Okay, this is what is downcasting. A line dot do hunt, now I can call. Okay, so this is what the thing. So let's say that whether we are getting the actual code or not, so let's execute the same code few times. So let's say for int I equals to 0, I less than 5, and I plus plus, and calling this whole application code 5 times. So you can observe right there, first of all I have to choose line, so this hunting behavior executes 5 times. Okay, the same line is hunt 5 times, so it is executing perfectly fine, no problem. Okay, let's call it again line. So hunting, let's do hunting, and some hunting is taking place, and you can observe right there that last attempt of hunting it failed. Okay, so although weight is still higher side. Okay, so application works perfectly fine, but there's a problem now. Now look at here, I instead of lion, now I choose dog D and executing it, and now I'm getting class cast assumption. Very important concepts. why I'm getting class exception. So the problem right here is that basically that is my hierarchy. Okay, and what happened in this hierarchy, that I have created a content through animal a equals to new dog or lion, then perform some task, then called a dot do eat, okay, perform some other task, and then immediately I'm passing here what? Object of dog. How I can convert a dog into a lion? It is not possible, and that's why it is saying class exception. It is saying that dog object, because as you can observe right there, that I am right from here, this arrow from this, right, dog case, this animal app user playing game, d is nothing but the dog object, right, this object. So user is passing dog object to the animal, and that dog object I'm trying to convert into loin, right? Where I was trying to convert it? I was trying to convert it in this line, because down there I was written the code lion equals to lion and a. So here that a object internally holding what? Holding dog. But here I'm saying that, hey dog, you now have to behave like lion. Sorry, it is not possible. It is not possible. And that's the reason it is giving us a problem class exception. And the solution of this problem is very simple. The solution of this problem is that instead of doing whole lot of this stuff, I should check it. First of all, I should check it that if a having the instance of lion, then only typecast to lion, otherwise typecast to dog. A instance of dog, then dog equals to dog a and dog dot play games. So now I'm calling dog dot play games. So if it is lion, it works. If it is dog, it works. Check it out. So here I'm running it again, and first of all I'm choosing lion, so it works as it is, no worries. Now I'm running it again and I'm choosing D. You can observe that I'm choosing D right here. D belongs to dog. So when I'm running it, you can observe that it is also working fine and there is no such concern, and dog is able to play and having some energy and weight loss, everything fine. So things are working fine. Okay, things are working fine. Now we can observe that there is no class exception is coming as well. So what we have learned in this video, in this section we have learned what is the inheritance, how it works. More than understanding inheritance as a code reusability tool, it is also the designing approach. It is basically the giving the flexible runtime objects. So you must think in some different way to the inheritance, that the purpose of inheritance is this. Okay. We have discussed class conceptions. We have discussed the runtime polymorphism. In the next session, we will be discussing the runtime inheritance in frameworks and inheritance in design patterns and inheritance in exception handling. I hope that you enjoyed this video, you learned something relevant. If this video gives you some input, it increases your value addition, it gives you the value addition. If I hope that you enjoyed this video, and this entire session on inheritance and runtime polymorphism gives you some value, then I expect you to subscribe my channel and like this video and share among your college group, your friends group, those who are also looking for learning Java, so that my reach can also increase. And when you subscribe, when you like, when you give me the comments, it's not only motivate me, basically it push me to make more such content. If you have any another topic which you are looking for that I should make a video on that, then you can directly connect with me through the comment section. You can comment me your topic basically in Java, as well as I'm also looking for creating the topics over Python and making the Excel sheet automation using the machine learning code. So hopefully you will also enjoy that content. Thank you very much for watching my video till end. Thanks.